I'd just like to start off by saying that I love Conker, and I feel really bad about what we're about to put him through. Today we're going to go through Conker's Bad Fur Day, and find every conceivable way to kill our favorite red squirrel boy. This may come as a surprise to some people, but you actually cannot die in the opening chapter hungover. Doesn't matter how far you fall, or how many times you let the gargoyle smack you, Conker is just impervious to damage. So our first death is in the windy chapter. And here we go. Stabbed to death by wasps. Killed by the giant wasp larva. Death by jumping on barbed wire. Death by entering beetle territory. Murdered by bloodthirsty worms. Doomed to fall by bloodthirsty worms. Taking too much fall damage. Squashed by a giant metal crate. Stabbed by an angry pitchfork. Clobbered by a haystack. Swooped on by a bat. Doomed to fall by a sunflower titty bounce. Clapped by an angry haybot. Shot with missiles from an angry haybot. Swimming in electrified water. Doomed to fall by a wasp. Forgetting to turn into an anvil. Swimming in dangerous waters. Gored by a mean old bull. Doomed to fall by a poo ball. It's getting a little Dr. Seussian. Being thrown from a bowl. Drowning in poo-poo water. Swimming too close to the dogfish. Being bumped into by an imp. Sucking with a slingshot. Chomped on by a clang. Set on fire by imps while trying to pee. Set on fire by a big bald boiler. Stepped on by a big bald boiler. Smashed into the ground by a beetle. Getting sucked down the drain. Trying to swim in gooey poo. Flattened by the hand of the great mighty poo. Trying to get eaten by the great mighty poo. Pelted with poo balls by the great mighty poo. Crushed by falling poop. Cut in half by razor blades. Diced by a blender. Trying to swim in lava. Mauled by a baby raptor. Doomed to fall in lava by a baby raptor. Thinking the locals might be friendly. Not learning your lesson. Death by falling fireballs. Doomed to fall in lava by a caveman. Getting a bad launch off the monk slab. Burned to death by hot breath. Smacked around by a uvula. Making conversation with rockmen while holding a bomb. Not learning your lesson again. Poor time management. Dropping off a ledge with a bomb. Trying to swim in lava with a bomb. Taking a fireball to the face while holding a bomb. Getting smacked by a uvula while holding a bomb. Crashing into a wall on your hoverboard. Going the wrong way on your hoverboard. Running into a dinosaur on your hoverboard. Mauled to death by Fangy. Doomed to fall in lava by Fangy. Squashed by a big fat ass. Helping a giant caveman practice his drive. Getting boned to death. Death by ass shockwave. Doomed to fall in lava by a giant caveman. Trying to swim in honey. Going AFK while surrounded by wasps. Having an oopsie while riding Mr. Barrel. Drowning in water. Can't believe I hadn't already done this one, but it's distinctly different from drowning in poop water. Ripped limb from limb by zombie squirrels. Thrashed by undead bloodthirsty worms. Doomed to fall into the void by undead bloodthirsty worms. Falling into the void. Getting too close to local villagers. Flying into the grinder. Death by high dive into the grinder. Rammed by a vampire bat. Riding Mr. Barrel Thelma and Louise style. Death by spider landmine explosion. Death by touching a spider landmine. Squashed by an ammo crate. Squashed by a dropping metal crate. Smacking TNT with a frying pan. Death by electric eel. Doomed to drown by an electric eel. Burnt alive trying to desert the war. Death by Teddy machine gun fire. Death by Teddy bayonet stabbing. Death by Teddy gunfire. Failing to dodge the laser beams. Standing in the way of a flamethrower. Skewered by sharp medical equipment. Running towards a mounted machine gun. Aiming poorly with a bazooka. Blasted by a thrown teddy grenade. Death by falling bombs. Doomed to fall into toxic sludge by a spider landmine. Trying to swim in toxic sludge. Doomed to fall into the void by machine gun fire. Getting lit up by tower machine gun fire. Sucking at driving a tank. Death by submarine missile bombardment. Standing too close to the boss. Death by boss's minigun. Death by boss's lasers. Death by boss's fur-guided missiles. Poor time management again. Getting shot by a bazooka. Getting shot by weasel bank guards. Standing too close to the airlock. Doomed by the alien to be sucked into the airlock. Bit to death by an alien. Tripped to death by an alien. And that's everything I could come up with in the main story. But, if you didn't know, you can go into the cheat menu and type in Welly Top to unlock Conker in the deathmatch mode. So in the interest of being thorough, here's a few more for multiplayer. Standing on an electrified floor. Getting a golden shower. Taking a knife to the dome. Being decapitated with a katana. Getting shredded by a chainsaw. Getting headshotted by a revolver. Cooking a grenade for too long. And lastly, bringing a friend to your suicide party. And that's it. Those are all the horrific Conker deaths I could come up with. You may be asking yourself, why did you make this video? Who's this for exactly? Well, don't worry, because I'm asking myself the very same question. All the same, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you think there's anything that I missed, feel free to let me know down in the comments. And I'll either say, oh, of course, or I'll tell you that you're wrong. Feel free to subscribe, and maybe I'll try this concept out in a few other games. I think Conker deserves a beer after all that. So until next time, I'll see ya.